clap.
Like to clap. Okay, I can do 1, 2, 3, clap. No, you clap. You have to do 1, 2, 3, clap like this.
Okay.
And
1, 2, 3, clap.
clap, clap, clap,
Clap,
clap.
clap, clap.
Tonight.
Tonight. Okay, I think we are on this one now. Yeah. We are going to read about the great and abominable church. Okay. What is the great and abominable church that Nephi saw? Elder Dallin H. Oaks explained that the great and abominable church described by Nephi represents any philosophy or organization that opposes belief in God. And the captivity into which this church seeks to bring the saints will not be so much physical confinement as the captivity of false ideas. So that's the section, and there's some scriptures to go along with it. I did. Okay. And it came to pass that the angel spake unto me, saying, Look! And I looked, and beheld many nations and kingdoms. And the angel said unto me, What beholdest thou? And I said, I behold many nations and kingdoms. And he said unto me, These are the nations and kingdoms of the Gentiles. And it came to pass that I saw among the nations of the Gentiles the formation of a great church. And the angel said unto me, Behold, the formation of a church which is most abominable above all other churches, which slayeth the saints of God, yea, and tortureth them, and bindeth them down, and yoketh them with a yoke of iron, and bringeth them down into captivity.
And it came to pass that I beheld this great and
Abominable.
what does abominable mean?
Oppressive, awful. Trying to think of another way to describe it.
Like the abominable snowman.
No, yes.
What? What's the
Like terrible and like fear-inspiring, causing moral revulsion.
Yeah.
Very bad or unpleasant.
Loathsome.
lava?
Okay. Church.
Church. And I saw the devil that he was the founder.
I blocked that. Say
And I also saw gold and silver and silks and scarlets and fine twined linen and all manner of precious clothing. And I saw many harlots. And the angel spake unto me, saying, Behold the gold and the silver and the silks and the scarlets and the fine twined linen and the precious clothing, and the harlots are the desires of this great and abominable church. And also for the praise of the world do they destroy the saints of God and bring them down into captivity.
And it
So, no, that's it for this section. So, is this great and abominable church like an actual physical church that you could go to, like a building you could go to?
no.
Not one single building, really. Is it a formal religion, like,
No.
you know? So, what is it? What makes up? What is that? What was important?
about what we saw.
We read it.
Says that
The great and abominable church is made up of
gold and silver
yeah.
and silks and scarlets and fine linen. Things of the world. Linen?
Yeah.
So those would be things that they would recognize. But could we fill those things in with different things? Could we say there's filled with fancy cars and Xboxes and
Fame.
fame and lots of Twitter followers and
Lots of likes on your Instagram posts.
and
stuff like that.
Lots of money, lots of
anything that would take you away from following Christ.
Yeah.
If it's taking away, you should just like give it up. Like even if it's like your favorite thing. Like,
Yep.
maybe you're famous, but that was keeping you away, so you would have to stop being famous. I don't know how you would do that.
Just stop. You just be like, nope, no one knows me anymore.
Being famous in and of itself is not necessarily a bad thing. It's more about why you became famous, how you became famous, and what you're doing. You know, are you trying to become famous because you want to be seen by all the other people, because you want to be cool for other people? That's not so good. If you happen to become famous because you choose to do something really good, though, like Jesus, he's really famous, right? That's not so bad. But he didn't do what he did because he wanted to become famous. He did what he did because he wanted to do what was right.
Everybody is really everybody really gets to see red people. So
Right. Well, and that's the thing, is none of the things in that list are bad things, right? It talked about gold. Is gold like an evil thing?
no,
No, it's a naturally occurring element. What about silver?
no, it's also naturally occurring.
Silk, is it like bad to
I think
wear silk?
no.
No,
not
it's
evil.
just, it's a
Yeah,
fabric.
it's
It's a nice fabric that feels really soft.
I think they use like silver and cars, I think, for some stuff.
Not in cars, but in like jewelry.
Maybe it's a luxury cars, who knows?
Yeah, probably.
Yes. And anything.
You are such a tease.
And I'm pretty
Like
sure
this,
they
Mama?
also use.
You guys.
You got lucky. Such a punk.
You're adorable.
Okay.
Yeah, the things aren't bad. It's if you are putting those things though, and the accumulation of those things above following Jesus, above helping other people, above, you know, all of the other good things that you should be doing in this life, then there are problems.
Yeah, well, think about what do we do at church?
Take the sacrament.
Yep. And then ultimately, we are trying to worship who?
Jesus Christ.
The Heavenly Father. Yeah, we're worshiping God when we go to church. That's the reason why we go to church. So if the great and abominable church isn't God, you're worshiping something, but it's not God. So that's what the great and abominable church is. You worship money, you worship fame, you worship power, those kinds of things.
And does it matter what it is that takes you away from God?
Nope.
No.
Anything that takes you away from God
You just
is a problem.
You just
Yeah.
gotta get around it. Like, if you like, it's better to go to heaven than hell or heaven. Because, like, if you go to heaven, like the world's gonna turn into heaven. So I guess there's gonna be houses in heaven and all of the other things. Like, and you get to live forever. So,
Yeah, you get to be with your family.
like.
Yep.
Does it really?
Do you hear that David's just mimicking? So, like,
And it came to pass that he said unto me, Look, and behold that great abominable church, which is the mother of abominations, whose founder is the devil. And he said unto me, Behold, there are saved 2 churches only. The one is the church of the Lamb of God, and the other is the church of the devil. Wherefore, whoso belongeth not to the church of the Lamb of God belongeth to that great church, which is the mother of abominations, and she is the whore of all the earth. And it came to pass that I looked and beheld the whore of all the earth, and she sat upon many waters, and she had dominion over all the earth, among all nations, kindreds, tongue, and people. So this verse is saying, this church isn't just in one place, it's everywhere. It has all people.
All
And,
kinds of people.
yep,
well, and do you think when it talks about, it says there's just 2 churches, right? Either the Church of the Lamb of God or this
There's lots of
terrible church. Well, but so, do you think that that means that like only members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are part of the Church of the Lamb of God?
No.
I think that there are people who are striving to do the right things
And therefore,
in all different religions.
No, all
Just like we are, right?
Yeah.
Part of this church. We don't know everything that, it's like we don't have all of the truth. There's still things that need to be revealed to us. We do have the authority to go seek after that truth, but we still have to seek after it.
Yep.
So that also means, even though you might be technically a member of the church, maybe you've been baptized, but you might start to worship things other than God. And if that happens, you can't really be a member of the church. You can't be part of the church of God.
but like, what would you worship? Like,
All sorts of things. We already talked about those, right?
Anything that takes you away from God. If that's that you choose to
It's like I love skiing, right? I love skiing so much. I go skiing instead of going to church, right?
that, you'll have to like stop going skiing.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, if I were to do that, then it would be obviously that I'm placing skiing over a church. I'd say that, my behavior would show that.
And if you can't stop, then I guess you gotta like throw away the skis or something. Like,
Yeah, if you got addicted to it, yeah, you have to change your environment. You have to you have to take whatever is hurting you out of your life. Yeah? Okay. So let it be written.
so
let it be done. Dum,
The pause.
dum, dum, dum.
it is 8:45. It's actually 8:50.
You've got 10 minutes, folks.
And you need to make sure that you have something to wear tomorrow.
Do-do-do.